They sent a warden to deal with her on a Thursday, which Kessa found almost offensive. Thursdays were administrative. If the conclave considered her a genuine threat, they should at minimum have sent someone on a Monday. The warden was tall, pale-haired, with the particular stillness of someone who had spent years learning to control the thing living inside him. Wardens were the conclave's enforcement arm, gifted individuals trained to contain, suppress, or if necessary, eliminate ungoverned power. They wore no uniform. They carried no obvious weapon. The weapon was them. His name was Dorian Ashvale, and he knocked on her door, which she had not expected. She had expected a ward break, a perimeter assault, the aggressive theater the conclave usually deployed when they decided someone's gift had exceeded acceptable parameters. She had not expected a knock. She opened the door. He looked at her the way she imagined he looked at everything, carefully, completely, with those pale silver eyes that she recognized as seer-adjacent, someone who perceived more layers of reality than the standard human spectrum. He looked at her, and whatever he perceived made something flicker across his controlled expression. "You're not what they told me," he said. "No one ever is," she said. "Come in." She gave him tea, which seemed to unsettle him more than anything else she could have done. Kessa's gift was atmospheric. She didn't call it that. The conclave did, in their clinical taxonomy of things they wanted to categorize so they could control them. She generated weather. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. When her emotions ran past a certain threshold, the sky responded. Her grief had flooded a valley town 2 years ago. Her rage had taken the roof off a conclave assessment facility, which was probably why they'd sent a warden. She was not ungoverned. She had governed herself painstakingly for 29 years. She had rules and rituals and a practice of emotional regulation that most humans never needed, because their anger didn't have a wind speed. She was ungoverned in the conclave's specific sense, which meant she had declined to register, declined to submit to their power-limiting protocols, and declined to move into one of their residential management facilities, which was a beautifully bureaucratic phrase for a cage. Dorian sat in her kitchen with his tea, and she waited for the suppression attempt, for the ward casting, for the opening move of the thing the conclave had sent him to do. He asked her about the valley town flooding instead. Not accusatorially. With genuine technical curiosity. What had she been feeling? What was the gradient of escalation? Had she had warning before it peaked? She found herself answering honestly before she decided to, which was irritating, and then found herself asking why he wanted to know, which led to an hour-long conversation about atmospheric gift mechanics that she had never had with anyone because there was no one to have it with. "You're studying me," she said finally. "The conclave wants a suppression assessment," he said. He was honest about it, which she hadn't expected. "I'm doing something more useful." "Which is?" "Trying to understand whether you're a danger, or whether the danger is in how we're approaching you." He set down his cup. "Those are very different problems with very different solutions." She looked at him. Dorian Ashvale, who the conclave had presumably sent to evaluate suppression options, was sitting in her kitchen having the conversation she had wanted someone to have for a decade. "They won't like that distinction," she said. "I'm aware." The weeks that followed were not what either of them had been positioned for. He didn't leave. She didn't throw him out. They developed carefully and with significant mutual suspicion that gradually became something else, a working understanding. He helped her map the emotional triggers that preceded escalation, building a framework for intervention that was collaborative rather than suppressive. She helped him understand what ungoverned gift communities actually needed, which was not containment but infrastructure, support, tools. The conclave sent increasingly impatient communications. Dorian's responses were models of bureaucratic deflection. The reckoning came when a conclave oversight team arrived unannounced. 3 senior wardens and an administrator with a suppression mandate already drafted. Kessa felt them before they arrived. She felt the weight of their intent the way she felt pressure systems, and the sky above her house went dark in 60 seconds. Dorian stepped outside to meet them. "Stand down," the senior warden said. "She's been assessed as a grade 4 ungoverned risk. The suppression order is authorized." "The assessment is wrong," Dorian said. "You were sent to confirm it." I was sent to assess it. My assessment differs. He produced his report, 12 weeks of documentation, gift mapping, escalation analysis, and alternative management framework that was, she could see from the doorway, extraordinarily thorough. She is not ungoverned. She is unsupported. Those are different problems. Dorian. Step aside. No, he said. Quiet, unmoving, with the particular quality of a person who has decided and is not managing a performance of it. What happened next happened fast. The sky happened fast. Kessa pulled it back hard, the way pulling back a flood requires more control than letting it run, channeling everything she had into keeping the storm internal because Dorian was standing in the middle of it and she would not be the weapon that justified the order against her. She held it. It cost her everything she had. She held it. The standoff lasted 11 minutes. Dorian did not move. The clouds Kessa was holding gathered and churned above them and did not break. When the oversight administrator finally reviewed the report in his hands, the full 12 weeks of it, something in the calculus shifted. The suppression order was suspended pending review. The conclave senior warden looked at Dorian. This isn't over. I know, Dorian said. I'm looking forward to the conversation. They left. The sky cleared slowly as Kessa released what she'd been holding, careful and exhausted, sitting on her porch steps. Dorian sat beside her. Neither of them spoke for a while. That report, she said finally. You wrote that before today. Yes. You decided before today. Yes. He looked at her sideways. Was that presumptuous? She thought about 12 weeks of someone paying attention to her with genuine curiosity and no agenda. She thought about a warden standing between her and a suppression order and not moving. Enormously, she said. Don't stop. The storm rolled out to sea in the distance, soft now, just weather. Above them, through the clearing clouds, the sky went amber and gold.